Hey everybody, welcome to this hot day in Montreal, and it's only May. Uh, we're going to do some news of the day, mostly based around the announcement of the Phase 2 from the NHL. By the way, if you hear like a noise, like an engine running, it's my fan. It's too bloody hot to film today without my fan going. I tested it to see, but it doesn't seem like you can hear it, but just in case, if you're wondering what that is, it's the fan. Okay, so we're going to get kind of right into the news of the day, and as we know, I think it was last Friday, the NHL announced, the NHL and the NHLPA announced that players had voted and they were going to accept the format of the 2014 playoffs. So that kind of put us a little bit closer to finding out what's going on. And then I want to say yesterday, the NHL announced no, I think it was the day before, they announced that they were going to release the Phase 2 protocols, which they did. I have them. But of course, that's the time when your printer decides, oh, I don't have any ink left. I can only print out a page. And then the rest is I don't have ink. So that's what happened to me. So I don't have them printed out. Have them on my computer if I need to. I don't want to go too in-depth on it because you probably heard everything about it. But I'll give some details that I know, and we'll talk about it. So let's get right into the news of the day and then that stuff. So when they voted, as I said, they voted for this 2014 playoff format, the NHLPA. There were two teams that did not vote for it. One was Tampa Bay Lightning. They gave the reason being that they thought it wasn't fair that the teams that were not going to make the playoffs have a chance to win the cup. And the Carolina Hurricanes, who didn't really want to face Artemi Panarin and Igor Shesterkin from the New York Rangers. But one of their players, Martinook, I don't know his first name, he came out to say that that was the reason why, but they are happy to be playing and they did want to play and all that stuff, but it was only this particular reason. So those were the two teams that didn't want, Carolina and Tampa Bay. But we're still only two teams. Well, that means it was going to happen. So it is. Don't worry, we're not there yet as far as playing. That's not what the announcement of Phase 2 is. It's not, the season's not happening yet. Not there. Draft lottery was announced. Not officially, but it's going to happen June 26th. I'm going to be surprised if that's not the day because of the people talking about it. So June 26th, and this is for the top 7 teams. We don't know about the other 8 slots because there's 15 in the lottery. So the top 7 teams are definitely going to be part of this lottery. Now the talk is what to do with the other 8 positions. And I think the one that they're going to go with, and I really do think this is what they're going to go with, is the 8 to 15 seeds are going to be just blank slots that teams, as they lose the play-in, will fill. They'll figure it out. The teams that lost in the play-in, they're going to fill in those spots. So I think that's how they're going to go with it. So basically, a team like Montreal, we'll take Montreal because I'm a Habs fan. That's my channel. They could lose the play-in to Pittsburgh and come back to having won the lottery. Now, winning the lottery isn't clear if that's moving up 4 spots as a cutoff and there's only one winner, or a regular lottery where there's three teams picked and you could literally 3 teams could move up into 1, 2, 3. So this is a possibility. It hasn't been worked out yet, and but it's happening on the 26th. Now, the draft is not happening on the 26th. It is not happening in June. It is not official either, but seems like the talk is, and it's from good sources, that it will happen, like I said in the other video I did, I think right after the season ends. You're going to have the contracts expire, free agency start, and they're going to work in the draft somehow very quickly after, if they get back to play and the season ends. If they don't get back to play, then of course sometime during the summer they'll schedule everything and it'll be a normal draft. So, yeah, but it's June 26th. Now, in this Phase 2 that's announced, they're looking at June 1st. Oh, sorry. Oh, okay, Rick, you're here. June 1st deadline to sign. The Habs have, I think it's 20-year-old junior players. The Habs have 4 players that need to be signed by June 1st. If not, they go back into the draft or they're free agents. I don't know how that works, but the Habs lose the right to signing them, their signing rights. Now, those players are Arvid Hendrickson Henriksen. He's a 22-year-old Swedish defenseman. Not a big point producer. Definitely not going to be not going to be signed to a ZLC. I really don't believe he will be. Samuel Hood, who's played for the Chicoutimi Saguines in the QMJHL. He's a forward. He's 20 years old. He's got decent numbers, something like somewhere around 50 points in 50-odd games. He's got decent numbers. I think actually maybe more points per game, but really close. But so they're not horrible numbers, but still, I don't know if this guy's going to get signed. I don't know if Alan McShane is going to get signed. He's a 20-year-old OHL player, center. Him too, he gets a few more points than he plays games. But I don't think that they're going to sign. You got to keep this in mind that they have a limit of how many players can be signed and on the roster at one time. That's 50. You kind of want to leave a couple of spots open in case at the trading deadline you bring in players, or any time during the season you make a trade. You usually like to have 2, 3, 4 spots still open. Don't forget also the Habs have had 21 picks in the last two years in the draft, and they have scheduled to have 14 more in this next draft. So you can only sign so many players. So this is a problem. Now, the last one up there, I think, is a guy that could be signed and might actually get it. That's Cole Fonstad. He's 20. He's now in the WHL. He was in the Q. He's now in the WHL. He is a left wing. This season, he got 74 points in 60 games. Decent numbers. Not a ton better percentage than the other ones, but good. And the key here is he's a left winger. Right now, not necessarily in Montreal's organization at the top, but in the Rockets, they're a little short on left wingers, and they could use guys like that. And I think that gives a possibility that Montreal will sign Cole Fonstad, and we'll know by the 1st. That's Monday, I believe, at 5 o'clock. So that's how long he's got. And I think it's a possibility Fonstad will get signed. Next up on the list is Phase 2 protocols. Now, let me see what I wrote. Okay, so remember that this is not an official restart. These are just protocols for how the teams get the players back to the home city practice facilities, and how you get them starting to train and starting to skate again. This is not practice per se, where all the team is on the ice and practicing. This is not scrimmaging. This is none of that. That's not where they're at. But they're at getting the teams back, all the players back, and getting them to start skating a little bit and working out and getting back into shape. That's from what I know, this is what this is for. So these are just some of the things that are in there. It's 21 pages. You can get this at Sportsnet on their site. That's where I went there, and I think I just typed in Phase 2 protocols on Sportsnet, something like that, in Google, and I got it right away. So it wasn't hard to get. And you can download the PDF file and you can read it on your own. It's a lot to read, but it's pretty. It covers everything pretty good, I think. It covers. Oh, Trave. I put Trave. I don't have my black one here, so I'm going to use this one. Yeah, I meant to put travel. I get ahead of myself sometimes. You may have noticed. So it encompasses travel, how the players will get back to the home cities. The fact that the teams have to actually, I think they have to pay for that and provide them hotels, all that stuff, if they don't have a home in that city. Some players actually live in hotels and they don't have their own home there. So this travel involves how they get there. I don't think it involves once they would go to the hub cities, because I don't think they're that far. These protocols are not for even that far ahead. It is. So like I said, to Team City. I wrote Hub City, but I really, like I just said, I don't think that's involved here. Testing. It involves testing. How they're going to test, how often they're going to test, and the availability of tests. And it said in there, this is kind of key, I think, for people who are saying, well, why do the players get to be tested, and what if I need a test and I can't get one if I live in that city? Well, they actually wrote that in there, that part of all this happening has to be that the players can get all these tests that are required, but it doesn't take away from the ability of anybody else in that whole general area to be tested. So they don't want to take any tests away from Joe Blow on the street to give a test to, we'll use the Habs, like a bad, because I don't think he's going to be there. Max Domi came to my head. I don't think he's going to be there, but that's what they're saying. So as long as testing is abundant in the area where the team is, they're not really going to be able to do this. So testing is going to be very important. So that's schedule and availability. And by scheduling means that they have the facilities to do the testing and to have the tests analyzed, I guess, or for the results and all that. So they have to have all that available to them. Practice and training. This is how they're going to, protocols on how they're going to train and practice. They're going to work in groups of 6, I believe. And I'm not sure if the 6 includes a coach with them or if it's 6 players, because I heard 6, the players, the group is going to have like a trainer, whoever works with them directly, all working together and not working with anybody else. Right, so you got 6 guys. If it's 6 guys on the ice, the coach, the trainer there, whatever. And when they're done, they all come off the ice. They disinfect. Next group comes out. So they're all going to work together for this whole period of time. That isn't like until the team can actually get together and practice on the ice as a group. Meals. Yeah, I'm just going to go across. So meals. So they're not allowed to eat at the training facilities unless they bring like a granola bar. So it's something that you can eat out of a package and throw it away. Not bring a container. Not going to be allowed to do that. They're not going to be allowed to eat or drink anything they can't and throw away. As far as meals that are going to be prepared there, they are going to have meals available to them, and they're going to be packaged and given to them for them to take home and eat somewhere else, preferably at home, because they're not supposed to be going all over the place. This is the same thing with water bottles. Water bottles and all those towels, I got towels up there, they're all going to have to be specific to the player. For water bottles, they'll be marked with their number or their name, and that's the only one they can use. Towels will be given to each individual player. They use it, throw it in the bin, and next time they need one, they get another one. Cleaning and disinfecting. There's in that package of there's 21 pages. There's what they're going to be using to make sure everything is clean. So a checklist. So clean this, is this done? And you got to check it off, sign for it, and hand it in that it's been done. In between, like when I said when there's practice groups. So when they're done, that area that they've worked in is going to have to be cleaned. If they're training in a small group, when they finish training in the room, going to have to come in and be cleaned. Those kind of things are going to have to be done. Plus, they're going to have all the, like it said, this how detailed it is. When they're lifting weights, when they're finished with that, they're going to have something there that they can spray everything down, wipe it clean, and go to the next one. And then the next guy comes and it's clean. Players' families. Players' families. I guess I'll give a list of who's not allowed to be there for the training, because the players have said they want their families when they're in the hub cities. If they're going to start playing, they want their families with them. But for this phase 2, families are not allowed to be there. Media is not allowed to be there. The players' agents are not allowed to be there. Massage therapists are not allowed to be there. Special outside trainers are not allowed to be there. If a guy's lifting weights, doesn't need a spotter, not going to have spotters. Those kind of things are not going to be allowed. If a new case comes up, and what about quarantining? So what they talk about that, if there's a case that comes up, so there's a group of 6, say one of them is tested positive. So that whole group of 6, coach trained, they all have to be isolated and quarantined for 14 days. And they're going to handle it like that. Remember, this is only phase 2. There's going to be more phases as they go along, and that's how they're going to handle that. So it's not going to shut down phase 2 if a player tests positive. If you get mass testing positive, yeah, like every group that's got people, they're going to probably have to shut the team down. And if it happens in multiple teams, it's going to spell the end of what they're trying to do. That's obvious. But that's how they're going to handle if someone comes down. The players every day have to report how they're feeling. If they have any kind of symptoms, then they have a checklist for, blah, 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 I feel this and that. And you have to hand that in or report directly to doctor or whatever. And they're going to really be monitored closely. So anybody talking about player safety and that the league is strictly looking to make money, and look, it's fair to say that they need to make some money. They are looking out for the players. This is I think it's a pretty, words lately just escape me when I need them. Very detailed list of things that they're going to do. And I think if they keep being that detailed, and as long as they really are enforcing these details, I think this could possibly work. We're going to find out if the players, once they get in close contact, if there's problems there. So I don't want to go over everything that's in there because it's 21 pages. I don't want to really read from it. There's other people who have done it yesterday, and you've probably seen them. I just wanted to give my opinions on this. One thing that I didn't say, this is all voluntary. So players, whatever player says, oh, I'm not taking a chance in doing that. I'm not traveling. He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to. So they don't have to play if they don't want to. They're not forcing anybody. There's no guns to anybody's head. It's all voluntary, and we'll see how that goes, how that turns out. So now, before I end this, I want to talk about something because I discovered something yesterday. You know, if you're a regular watcher of my videos, if you're not, and you're not interested in masks, and these are not masks for the players or anything, it's for people. You can turn off now, and I appreciate it. Thanks for watching all that stuff. So if you are regular viewers, you know I've done a couple of mask videos. I came across one yesterday that is really easy to make. And not only that, I mean, anybody can do it. And I tested it out. I walked my dog, so that's a 20-minute walk, wearing the mask. If it falls or if it's easy to breathe, whatever, you're going to know if you can't wear it. It passed on both times, and it is as easy as you can do. Now, I'm not going to tell you how to do it right here, but I'm making a video either today or tomorrow. This time I'm making that video because this is so easy, and I think it's so important that people start wearing masks as we're reopening things, and there's more people out shopping, there's more stores open and all that stuff. I think it's important we all wear masks to keep the chances of us getting sick low. So unless you're a part of, you want to get herd immunity, which we don't know if that works or not, and you want to do that, okay, but if you're not, I suggest wearing a mask. This is what the pattern comes out to. I'm not going to show you everything, but this doesn't look like a mask. Sure, it looks like eyes there, but I'm going to show you how easy. So it's easy to cut with scissors. All you need is scissors, a ruler, a marker. That's it. Now, this is without the filter inside and without the nose piece. I'm going to show you how easy it goes on. Now, it's tight on the nose, and it's tight under the chin, and this is a safe mask. It doesn't even really fog up my glasses a lot. So I'm going to do a video. I want you guys to look out for it and look and see if you can make these, because it just takes a shirt, scissors, and all that. It's really easy. It took me 10 minutes. 10 minutes to make these. I made 4 last night in less than an hour. It was great. So I'm going to do a video. Look for that. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm done. If you liked it, give a thumbs up. And while you're down there doing that, leave me any comments you may have about anything I mentioned here. Anything. What do you think of Phase 2? What do you think of all the details? What do you think of these guys? If they should sign anybody that I didn't think, like I said, Cole Fonstad, if you think the other guys should be signed, let me know. Anything here. What do you think of the draft lottery system that's going to happen? And yeah, and if you haven't subscribed already, subscribe, ring the notifications bell. That's going to get you crazy videos like this for your daily fix of Blue Mountain Rouge right here at Talkin' Habs. And I think that's it. Stay safe, everybody. Check out my mask video when it comes out. Wear a mask. Stay safe. Peace out. Thanks for watching. See you next video.